Yeah, I think we're good, man.
Okay,
I think we're good.
Right.
Let me see what this is.
I mean, this is just a Zoom. I was thinking of maybe also recording.
What do you do with this? This is just a microphone?
I mean, it's not just a microphone.
Yeah?
It's a microphone that you can take anywhere.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is a stereo mic. So,
yeah.
I mean, so this mic points there, right? And this mic points here.
Oh, okay.
And it comes in as a left and right audio, and then you will, obviously stereo is split audio signal.
Yeah.
So, left is different than right, blah, blah. But then with this mic, you can obviously make it more narrow or wider. If you turn this thing, I mean, it has a small curve that kind of like goes this way. Well, if you turn it, it goes the other way, obviously. And then you can just,
you say obviously, but I'm really not following, man.
Okay, well, I mean, you can. Okay, so basically,
you're talking about curves and shit.
Basically, if you turn the mic, because it has a little shape, it's not completely straight.
Okay, yeah.
You can turn them, click.
Yeah,
and when you turn this, it changes how wide it records. And then you have the little knob here that is the volume, obviously.
Yeah.
So if you put this too loud and you do like this or this, then
it's like the gain on here, like here.
More or less, I mean, gain is a form of volume.
Okay.
So it's basically it's a gain knob basically.
And what do you do with it? Particularly,
I mostly walk around now Paris, before in The Hague, but I also use it to home record. I use it to record my music. I use it as a sound card as well, because I mean, if you plug it and you plug it straight to a laptop, I mean, it could be used as a sound card, like it's a very handy ass thing.
So when you're doing your music, like how do you say the plates? How do you say platen in vinyls? Vinyl
wax. Yeah.
Do you record it with this? You can do it internally, no?
I mean, I can also, if I do a DJ mix, and I mean, if I'm in the club especially, and if I have this thing with me, I can just put two cables from the mixer straight into this one and record my set just like that, or put it in here and put this one straight in my laptop, or and then you can also use the stereo mic for the sound of the audience, basically. If you want.
So do you record things that you just see in like day-to-day life? You're like, I'm gonna use this. Tell me, what is the last thing you recorded?
The last thing I recorded was on my phone, actually, but the last thing I recorded on this thing was the flea market in Paris, where my
on Sunday?
ex-girlfriend has a shop, a very very cool shop, selling vintage items.
What is it? You can shout her out.
Absolutely, we'll shout her out. It's vintage items. It's really nicely selected vintage items. She has a great imagination, and she's always nice for that. But she's particularly good in it. She's been a model, just like I have. But she's been always, even as a kid, she was always just she had a big imagination, I guess, and she always collected things, and I've always like her house has always looked amazing. Like
so
really
it's
like
not only clothes.
No, it's brocante. So it's like vintage items, furniture even, but also clothes. I mean, I think the idea started with clothes. But she caters a very specific vision, and if you know the flea market in Paris, most people that have their shops there are quite old, so she's basically the first to get her. I mean, there is some younger stands, I guess, but she is part of this new generation Saint-Ouen shop owners, and I think she has very fresh ideas on what to deliver to those to that place, and a whole new idea of what is retro. I think that is super exciting, and she isn't trying to overprice things. She's just selling to people like herself. It's like she's always been. Yeah, I mean, it's been a very important project for her. And
where is this flea market?
It's in the north of Paris. It's
north of Paris.
It's close. Yeah, it's north of Paris. I wouldn't know where.
Close to here or farther away?
No, it's actually close to where we are now. Okay, you know, if you take line 4 from here, it's a few stops, and then you're at I don't know that stop.
So I don't know.
Porte de Clignancourt.
I was going to try, but I actually know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's like there, and then you have the Recyclerie, which is a nice little place where you can have food. And
What is your
cute?
What is your favorite place in Paris to go? Well, I have to specify this question. To hang out, not going out wise, but just drink something with a friend, or.
I must say, this always changes because I think this is the first time in my life. Somehow, even though I've been working here for 4 years, that I'm getting comfortable and finding my own little spots in Paris.
Nice.
But yeah, I always had these little spots that I just happened to have made a tradition out of going. One of them would be where we met. Yeah. I mean, I've been there a few times. I mean, I guess that's sort of a trendy place where you meet a lot of people. So
it is.
I guess it's fun. But nowadays, I've changed as a human, and I feel like.
What's the name again?
As much as I do value these places of getting together and stuff like that, I also feel. Yeah, I feel like it's such a privilege to have a break of social life on this age without it feeling like you're being a
social.
Exactly. It's we all know that we know enough people.
Mm.
We finally kind of like can admit to that and live that and just be like, okay, hey, let's contact the people I've already met in these last years. I mean, there's a reason why we're in a room together, and why, even though we've only met each other maybe 2 or 3 times, it now feels probably even more like, it makes sense to do this because it's such a fresh influence of the old life, and why would I bother looking for new people? You know, and I think this is really important because a lot of stuff gets lost on the way in the pace of life as it was going, and and so so I think, to answer your question more straightly, I think this is changing for me. I think my favorite place to go and meet people, I think, would still be, just like anywhere else in any other city, a skate park, even though I don't really necessarily feel like I want to have that much more skate friends. I still feel like I'm comfortable on a spot like that, even if that means meeting non-skaters. But just kind of like, I mean, for me, sports is something very important. But for me, like, let me put it like this: if I'm outside, I either have a mission on my own, which could be anything, or it would be to skate or to record shop. You know, it's like I have very clear things that I do, and why wouldn't I? It's like sort of, I wander around on my own. I don't need to go to a place, get stuck there, and wander around socially. Like, I never needed that. It was never my thing.
You told me this before. More of a loner, but I'm as well.
I think a lot of people actually are. Well, I think a lot of people are also big socialites, don't get me wrong, but I think actually a lot more people than... I think some people must have found out how much they like being alone this whole trip, and at the same time found out how bad they are at it, because as much as I loved to be alone, I was bad at it, I think. I was not good at taking care of myself on my own. And I feel like right now I have a much healthier relationship with myself, but I could have only done that with so much dedication and time spent on this relationship. And where would I found the time or pressure-free zone to do this in another time? So God bless that about
that aspect of COVID. No, I totally see what you're saying.
With all the respect. I mean,
you know,
fucking hell, Jesus Christ. well, what are we even, you know?
No, I think loners are thriving maybe like better than extroverts in these times for sure.
Yeah.
And also, it's very true what you're saying, because I was also like couple of years just going everywhere, like meeting random people, not even like keeping the relationships with these people that I meet, like meeting new people. Yeah, kind of that.
You don't keep track anymore.
Yeah,
it's like. You even forget people's names. Like it's like whoa, you know, like and that was so normal. I guess a year ago we would laugh, we would almost be proud to be in that position to forget people's names, but now I would be ashamed.
Oh, I was always ashamed of that. I was always ashamed of that. Like it's but I think that's the thing, and I wonder now if the previous generations, because I think it's like really a thing of our generation, like I'm so bad with names. And I wonder
these
actually
type of things, all these type of things, like you know, like I mean, I guess it's part of being young.
Yeah.
Sort of like owning up to these type of things a little too much sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think in this way I'm a disciplinary. I prefer to see the world a bit more disciplined. You know, it's like I've tried to make music with friends, and I've went on this major emotional trip with myself, never being satisfied with the emotional input of my friends or whatever, and I guess this is why I'm here. I couldn't stand it anymore. I was taking it personal.
Really?
Which now, I mean, no offense guys, I mean whoever's back home, like, I love you, I really do, and it's not you, it's me too, but okay. It's just I feel like that is definitely something I find maybe sometimes more important than people around me, like to take certain instincts serious and to not drown in discomfort, because I mean maybe, and this is also something that is of recent, because I guess I got so traumatized by what drowning in discomfort did to me and how it made me feel in the end, and how many things I felt like I was losing because of it. Mm-hmm. And I guess my normal reaction to that is to now sort of like be on this sort of extra serious like vibe, where I mean not as in I cannot laugh anymore. It's more no. If people are like, hey, let's jam together, I'm like, yeah, sure, you know, I'll make a plan, and then like, you know, I'm like literally preparing, and I'm like doing stuff, and if people don't take it serious, I'm just like, don't waste my fucking time.
I have that as well. I have that majorly.
No, but it's just like I think it's because for a lot of people, stuff like making music is so much like a hobby. Mm-hmm. But for me, as a model that is just trying to sort of like keep his head high in an industry he never deliberately wanted to end up in. I mean, it's not that I regret what I've gone through. I had an amazing career so far, and I'm still enjoying the privileges of that. Mm-hmm. But obviously, it's never been my calling, or like obviously, I guess this is wrong though, because in a way, I guess I'm a performer, and modeling has been manifestation of an early manifestation of me being a performer. But I've always been interested in art and music and all these things, like any other young fucking idiot on this planet. No, but really, you know, I'm really boring. It's just for me, I've always felt like I could take this serious, not because I was more talented than the rest. No, just because simply I had the ability to lose myself in that imagination, and I always was capable of that, and I'm still capable of that, and I still do, and I deliberately do. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I'm 23 now. Mm-hmm. I cannot do this and not sort of try to live up to it more seriously. Mm-hmm. And this is why at this stage I get so disappointed working with maybe I'm trying to work with people that are too young or too busy with other stuff, like studying or modeling, to make full commitments. Even today, you know, I was supposed to record on the street, and I'm not mad, you know, I'm not mad at this guy, but the only reason why we're not recording is because he needed to wait on the dealer for it, so his girlfriend, you know, could have weed or whatever. I don't know, like some kind of like lousy ass fucking teenage reason.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad. You know,
No.
I haven't made music with this guy yet. I'm very excited to. Okay. But I'm also like, people definitely do not understand where I come from. You know, it's like...
You think it's an age thing, like a generation thing?
No,
because
not necessarily.
I have this feeling a lot.
I mean, he might be my age, but I think in this way, I guess I already saw a certain side of the sort of like self-employed world. My mom's self-employed, my dad's a musician. Mm-hmm. You know, I know what it takes. Okay. And I know you cannot be like...
Yeah.
You know...
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm like running. It's just that I'm so excited to find out more and to get my projects to the next level. Especially with all the fucking amazing things that I know now that I will not maybe know in the same way in 10 years. So for me, I've always been on this chase. When I was not making music but doing more photography type of stuff, it was also like this. I couldn't leave the house without my camera.
Yeah.
I might miss a shot. And I think some people are this driven. And I think, honestly, when you put me in a room with somebody that is entirely the same as me in this, I would clash too, you see?
Yeah.
But in the same way, I feel like, yeah, as much as I come off as a guy that is kind of like distracted and, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, yeah. I'm very focused. I'm very, or like very captured by my... Yeah, my ambitions in this way, and whenever I do commit to something with somebody, I get very serious, and people might not always be ready for that side of me, and I also still need to work on how I can get the most out of that side of me, because right now, when that side of me sort of like really starts speaking, and it clashes with the energy or is not, you know, or is interrupted, then it can bite really rudely and it can scare people away too. Okay. You know, I think this is my last song that I made about this. You know, I felt like I scared away my one chance of collaborating in music, and it really made me so emotional. You know, it's like... So yeah, I mean, it's a big struggle, but at the same time, I think it's so good to pitch these things with your friends, but also choose friends that can listen to something like that. And my friends always want to, but I think they're still finding so many difficulties in how they want to see this for themselves, as things like music and art bring a lot of insecurity with it, not just financially, for the mind and soul too. You know, I think if you're constantly busy with trying to make or press state under a certain scene, or not even a scene, even as a single person, like you're always busy with trying to sort of like satisfy a certain standard, you know. It's like trying to reach a certain goal, and if it's not your own, it's somebody else's, or you know, and this gets messy in the head. It's really hard. Even if you think you're ahead of it, you're never ahead of it. But yeah, I feel like in this sense, I want to get further in that conversation, and not just every time sort of like hold off, because I feel like I need to protect the unserious funness of the youthfulness and the...
I see what you're saying.
Fuck, whatever. You can be youthful and very serious. When I was young and looking for stuff out of my wildest imagination, I believed in it as if it was fucking God, you know? Like, and even more, because I don't really. No, but you see, like...
No, I see what you're saying.
It's just like, why can't we just take that imagination to the next step and be, like, serious with it, but within the fun of the imaginative world of creation and stuff like that. I guess I just have to find my people.
So what is the next project you're working on? And maybe try to explain this, because I feel like this is like not my world. So maybe try to explain it like a little. What is your goal that you're trying to do for that next project? I think you talked about like the album, or I mean maybe it's an idea, but
I mean I guess I've been experimental in my ways of making work. Some of it is literally me playing on a guitar, writing a song from start to finish. With chords, lyrics and whatnot. But sometimes, most of the time, no, not most of the time, just as many other times, I'm collecting sound from the street, and I come home with it and I throw it in Ableton, even on my phone. I was singing Jacques Brel songs a cappella in the streets of Paris, but then translated versions, don't worry. And I brought them home, I just put them in my computer, and then I put a lot of effects over it, and then I extracted some grooves and did a little bit of this and that, and then saw what happened, and eventually I was just in this thing, and this whole a cappella became a new thing, and then I kind of thought it was too controversial to be alive, but then I showed May, and she was actually quite surprised. She was like, like, whoa, this sounds, oh, it's that song, and then you start noticing, and then you start noticing that music moves obviously in the way of bands and club nights and DJs and this, but music can also very well be just some kind of like journal type thing.
Interesting.
And for me, like, I've been exploring this, but then I've also been exploring the possibilities of making very loud, uncompressed compositions to play in a museum, for instance. I accidentally made one of like 29 minutes that could very much, use some context and a nice, like, and I think these are the type of
I never
things
thought about this.
I like to think about and work on prematurely, even though I don't have the funds or network yet to realize these projects. And as I go, I'm learning, and as I sometimes see a possibility or opportunity to realize one of these projects, I will. But the thing is, I'm not rushed. I've never been rushed. And I don't understand why everybody just needs to have their fucking SoundCloud links and their this. SoundCloud, I use SoundCloud too. I've uploaded a mix or 2 or 3. But I guess preferably what I would like to see more, and it's not that nobody does this, but is that people use their SoundCloud really as a social media, but instead of uploading a picture, you upload some sound.
That's interesting.
Whether it be a tiny song of 1 minute, or just you walking around the street of Paris and like running into something, you have like a little journal and people can listen to it. Or like the fucking nerds that do. But anyway,
that is interesting.
To me, it's like whatever. I think that does give something. You give something that you can put in your own context, and you can play with that, and it's a whole new world of creativity. Then also there's context music where you imagine it in a space. This is also a thing. And then on the side of that, I also just make songs that I just produce from start to finish, compose on my computer, and then just do the production and whatever, and try to mix and learn about how sound works and what happens if you,
How long have you been doing this?
For years, but
really?
The thing is, I think for a long time, I've been so distracted by soaking up a lot of culture, which was great. I've needed that. But I'm so happy to kind of like have this turnaround in the way I'm spending most of my time. But I think when I was modeling and so busy with modeling that I was kind of more flying than I mean, for me, I found a way to still cultivate on those moments. It was just much. I just had to sort of like water it down, and then I was just going to record stores, buying excessively because I had the funds. I remember one time I went to New York. Tom Ford wanted to see me for the show, but I was way too grunge and whatever, so they canceled me like right away. But you know, they paid my flight, and they, you know, like they paid a cancellation fee. Thank you, Tom Ford.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like, and I was just there, like, I've got, you know, X amount of money to spend on records for free.
Okay.
And I was just like...
Was that the first time you were in New York?
No, second time. But it was only a 3-day trip. And then I went to Two Bridges, and I just bought a lot of records. And then I got into conversation about a The Hague record label that was in the bins. Of course, Bunker Records. I mean, for the people that don't know, Bunker,
I don't know, man.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry.
Bunker Records is a very, very important early techno / electronic music label from The Hague. And it had even influence on the pioneers of techno in Detroit. You know, it's like it was really for fucking real.
Yeah.
But so. I met this guy Nate, and we still talk, and we still cultivate on music together, and we learn, and we even during the pandemic we were talking so much, and I think we helped each other through some rough days. It's like, so here's some networking and a lot of music listening and collecting, which was possible then, but at the same time, back then I thought like, okay, I'm collecting so much music. I somehow got to be a DJ, and I was still sort of trying to live up, I guess.
What age were you then?
This is from my 18th till last year.
Okay.
I mean, I still go to record stores, but I shop in a very different way.
That you got that idea, like, maybe, like, let's do something with this, really.
Well, I mean, I was already DJing, you know. I was already rolling into sort of like doing stuff with these records. But I always thought, you know, like, it limited me, this DJ world, because I always felt like, but actually I play so many different sounds and so many different types of house. And
during the lockdown, you really felt like you had a wake up shake.
Well, I mean, it was funny because I was always, all of a sudden I was in my hometown, so all this DJing that I could do between my modeling jobs, finally kind of like I was stranded with it. You know, it's like somehow I had more DJ gigs in lockdown than, I mean, not in lockdown, after lockdown obviously, but like this summer, you know, when the clubs half reopened, I did some DJ gigs, and I don't know, it like almost every week I did one or something, you know. It was like, what? Fuck, I'm a DJ. But then I realized I'm not. Yeah, but I realized that is not for me. It's like I was just like.
Why particularly?
I'm not.
You don't like the atmosphere, like I mean, DJing, or
I like it.
Maybe
but
it's because the crowd has too many like.
I mean, to be fairly honest, whatever I was experiencing wasn't like how it was in the club. I will give it a chance in the future. But at the same time, I did realize whatever circuit I was in, and this is no like. Nothing against those people. It's just the circuit I was in. I felt like I wasn't gonna start another thing that I didn't feel like living up to in the future. And I think for me, I collect music because I love music. I play music because I love music. If I really want to make or like get music to people, I'll make a good mix and I'll put it on a CD.
Yeah.
And I'll either give it or sell it for cheap or whatever, you know, or do something like that with it instead of throwing another mix on SoundCloud or throwing a mix on SoundCloud every week. What the fuck? No, that is not for me. And I also don't need to play in the club every weekend.
No.
You know, I don't even like.
What is your? Do you already have now like a ultimate like dream, like that you want to see yourself like in 10 years or something?
I would like to be a musician on a level where you get asked to curate stuff as well. So as I obviously did fashion shows, I mean, I would love to do a fashion show one time. You know, I would love to do the soundtrack of a movie one time, but I wouldn't know what to answer to where my specialization would be. I had a conversation with my grandpa. He said that either I was gonna end up as a politician or a commercial maker. And I guess he got it in some way right.
One part, yeah.
I mean, I guess in a way what I'm busy with is making something... Yeah, making different things, you know? I'm not making one thing, you know? I'm not making... I'm making desirable music.
Yeah.
I'm making very personal music.
Yeah.
I'm making music that is impossible to understand without context. I'm making music that is
what do you mean by that?
You know, like, I mean...
Like impossible to understand without context.
No, I mean not that I'm saying my music is too far fetched, but like I'm making so much different music.
Okay, yeah.
And like one would be, you know, like almost that wouldn't make sense without some kind of context or like very specific context. And some music would be so simply just a music that it's it couldn't ever have a concept. It's just that.
Okay.
You know, this is the big difference between what I shit out through my days, you know, when being busy with this. So it's for me, I don't want to pin myself down on anything yet. I just want to see what I can achieve sonically as well as culturally when I see it all come together. And I must say, I feel a step closer today and every day. But I also do know that it's going to take so much more work than just to be like, hey, bro, let's record some stuff in the street. Oh, no, I need to wait on my dealer. No.
Also, wait. Today you were going to record audio?
Yeah, I can record audio every day.
Because you said record. I didn't know what you mean by record.
Yeah. I mean, I can record every day. I can record now. I
thought it was video.
No, I mean...
I wasn't thinking.
No. I can record on my way back home. You see, I have my recorder always with me.
Okay.
But it's just that... Yeah, I mean, I wanted to record with this guy on the street and, look for specific reverbs and you know, kind of approach it like that. And the only reason I'm mentioning that is, I guess, every time it's a different approach. You know, it's like. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I do feel like every time there is you know, at least an approach. But this is something that not everybody gets up to speed with so quickly. You know, it's like. And then, maybe I should study music or should be on a fucking conservatory if I'm like, you know.
That would have like meerwaarde, like it would help you.
I mean, to be fairly honest, I think it would be a lot easier for me to find people that are actually down to do shit.
Yeah. Because I did that and I had to, like... I almost disliked music at the end of the 6 years that I was...
I understand.
Because it's too academic, you know?
Yeah, I know, but then also, like, I don't know why, but in fucking Belgium and in France, people are getting put on the fucking conservatory when they're, like, barely have teeth.
Man, yeah.
You know, like, the conservatory in Holland is like the KC. It's like where you go when you're fucking mid-20s and you don't know what the fuck to do with your life and you're just gonna go study sonology or something. Yeah, this is kind of... why my idea of the conservatory is different.
That's why I'm asking you, because I had this experience and I was very, very young when I started singing, guitar, everything. And when I stopped Conservatorium, I didn't touch my guitar ever again.
But I can understand that some ways of this classical approach can be really of so much benefit. If I look at May, for instance, she was also in the conservatory. She plays piano like, wow, the way she finds harmonies, etc., etc. Like, I could never be as comfortable with all of that and like place all these things and just... Yeah. And I can barely play piano, you know? I just learned to play guitar on my attic on my own.
I think that's the best way.
Well, no. I think it is a way, and it's my way, and many other people's way. But I think... I think...
You're right, yeah.
I think music can be ruined in both ways just as easily. You know, I think some people that pick up on themselves and like blah blah do this whole thing alone, like me, and then they don't find people that work with them. I mean, if I wasn't fucking insane in the head, then I would have probably already, you know, lost hope like 10 times. You know how hard this can be, you know? It's like, and then you also sometimes are more ambitious with your music than you can be, because the lack of theoretical knowledge I have about music, it might free me in some ways, but it limits me in many ways too, you see? And to learn this all from nothing, I must say, I pick up on it quite fast every time I do watch one YouTube tutorial or whatever.
Tutorials.
No, but this helps, and just the pen and paper.
I use it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like our way of our little generation's way of being intellectuals.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. I love it too. Yeah. But I also feel like Jesus. If I was intercepted early enough and told like, hey, there's some logic behind this sort of like combination of frequencies sounding well in a composition together, blah blah. Yeah, I think that could have helped me plenty in many ways too. But
I think it's never too late. But I think
it's about being creative with the skills that you do have growing up.
Yeah. And your father was busy with it. Did he like teach you anything or pass something through?
No, never.
Just genetics.
No, just genetics. He never fucking laid out a finger. He literally taught me one song on the guitar, quite a hard one, but a simplified version,
Oh, okay.
And honestly, I don't know why, because he learned it from like literally the best guitar player of Belgium, so like jazz guitar player of Belgium, so more or less. I don't know his name. Katrine something. Philippe Katrine? No?
Okay.
Something, I don't know. Just some kind of jazz dude.
Yeah.
From Belgium. Really sick dude. I've seen him play a few times, but yeah, no, my dad, I mean, as far as the influence of my dad on my music goes, it's like one band.
You have an example though. I get the vibe. It seems like you get an example.
Yeah, but I don't know my dad that well. You see, it's like I met my dad when I was 11. He's always been, really reluctant on being a dad. Still now, I recently saw him for the first time since this whole Corona shit. It's really, it's maybe quite personal, but I didn't say this to him, but to me, like our relationship is more or less over. It's
okay.
He never did anything to me. I just came there to pick up my camera after he didn't contact me for a fucking year, even though we're in a worldwide pandemic. Thanks, Dad. Thanks for thinking about me. When I was on my way to pick up my camera, he came to call me to tell me that Belgium was in a lockdown, as if I didn't know. Basically, you can't come. I mean, I can't. I'm just here to pick up my camera. I'm not staying overnight. Oh, come by. Man. Really? Even if I just came against the rules, you should have fucking, been like, hey, what's up? I mean,
I get that.
It's a really difficult situation. You have a lot of friends with daddy issues, I feel like.
I was going to say like it's not the first time that I hear this, but when the father is like not seeing the son or the daughter or the mother, like the feeling what I hear from those people is really like, God, I don't see you as a.
I mean,
there is a little bit of anger. Like I see this in general. It's difficult to talk about this. Obviously, I don't want to overgeneralize.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's funny because I feel like my story is very different because my dad met me when, or like we met each other on just the right moment, just the moment where I could say, I forgive you, Dad. Let's make it new. And I did. I literally changed my last name to his name, and he never did a thing. So now I am angry. So my whole daddy issue came very late because I actually accepted him back in my life without a doubt.
That's the first time that I hear that.
Exactly. This is what I mean. And then still, so whatever. I mean, everybody has their own little thing, and everybody should just do it on feeling, and I'm happy I did, because I never was a frustrated teen. I'm not mad at my dad, but I just find it so strange how he ignored the fact that I was literally obsessed with music. He's a musician, and...
it's gonna get cold, but...
Yeah. No, but the last time he taught me something, or did something for my music, was like teaching me this one song on guitar, which was very annoying, I remember. Because he went way too quick, He was like, he was not trying to teach me. He was just like, here are the chords, figure it out. Not in a mean way, just kind of like, I don't know. I still feel like it was just he was lazy, And then he did listen to this one album, and then Jacques Brel, obviously, that stuck around for me. But that was just me being interested in that. So like this one band, Public Image Limited, with like John Lydon, who's now a Trump supporter, by the way. Really weird. But he was the, Sex Pistols frontman. But yeah, I mean, these type of bands had influence on me sonically, like especially sound-wise,
Yeah.
But yeah, can I really credit my dad for that? I don't know. I think
by the way, I love this stuff, like psychology and everything. So I don't know how far I can get into that, but maybe the feeling that you had about him teaching you the play is like your feeling of the general like vibe he had towards you being lazy, quote unquote, and you're like, fuck me, like he didn't teach me this properly, and it's bigger than this. You understand what I'm saying? It's like
it's
more you're kind of explaining it via the play, but it's more like about life.
Like, I just don't care how he. I didn't care about his mistakes, and I showed him that so clearly, and then all I wanted was a dad, and I think I showed that very clearly as well. And I owned up to so many things. I felt more. I was starting to embrace my Belgian side more than my Dutch side, even though I was clearly a guy that grew up in The Hague. It's like up until fucking last year. Like, it's like I was still trying to so hard be someone that he felt more connected to, and I only when I saw myself chasing that was when I realized how bad it had become. But that was also the moment where I started seeing it a bit different. So before that, I think it was much easier for me to be like, oh yeah, my dad. We have a weird history, but we're all right.
Bit denial.
But now I'm like, you know what? Fuck. Whatever that. Like, if you want to know how I'm doing, just email me or some shit.
Man, that's like super mature. Like but honestly,
no,
like, every time I hear
it took me a lot of courage to get to this.
Yeah, a lot of meditation.
I do value what you're saying, but it's also funny. I'm like, but it's man, fuck this guy. Like he really doesn't.
Honestly, children get super mad, and I understand. Well, I cannot say even that I understand because I didn't live through this, but I see this, like, they get very mad, and it's really like, fuck you, man.
Yeah, it's hard. My best friend as well, he doesn't like his dad for very good reasons,
They don't like them.
But when I was kind of still trying to be my dad's son, I was also, like, talking to him, like, man, you should, like, bro, it's not that hard to be, like, but it is hard. Once you kind of start seeing it in a certain way to protect yourself from the pain that it gives you when you keep on putting it in optimistic light, then is when you understand that there's really no other way to deal with it than being at least a little bit bitter about it. And yeah, I mean, I hope he doesn't take that personal if he ever sees this, because I mean, he's Belgian, he sees things.
Mechelen.
Yeah, but it's like, I'm like, well, I'm not personally mad at you. I'm definitely like structurally disappointed, and to get over that, like, you will have to do a lot more than just text me the day before my birthday to ask me what age I'm getting. Like this kind of shit. Like, it's like, are you memeing me around or something?
Yeah.
It's like,
it's almost like trolling. Oh my god.
Whoa. But at the same time, I'm just like,
you're fully in your right to be mad, and you saying like, I forgive you, and I accept your flaws, and I even will accept it if you try your best, like even a little bit. But man, what can I say? It's very mature. Like,
thank you. I mean, I guess. Well, there's no reason to be mad about it, or not.
Do you know how many families like get broken just because of one fight?
Yeah.
And they never see each other anymore. Like,
I know.
Even my father and his sister, like I don't know, like a small thing, exactly, a money thing,
or like
a money thing, and they never see each other anymore, and I'm like, how? So it's incredible to hear this, though.
No, I mean, I'm glad you view it like this, because I guess a little bit before this conversation, I was still, I guess, dealing with it much more negatively. I was already over it, but still kind of like I had to call it out in a much more negative light than this to feel okay about it. But now I'm like, you know what, fuck. I guess he tried his best. His best is just not really great. Fine. Dad, it's okay. It's okay. I'm fine right here. I never needed to. My mom was really strong. Okay. Like, she did it all on herself. You know, a little bit of help from my friends here and there. Amazing girlfriend. Amazing, nice, cool, man. Weird life. You know, it's like, I got my own little story now. Fine. You know?
I always feel like the most interesting people that are always the ones with like baggage. Just whatever it is, perhaps, like they have baggage. Shit happened in their life.
I mean, I guess that is also the just most perspective, crazy. Though, because when Matthias, can I tell you something?
Yeah, you can, man. Tell me.
I think I've looked up to you since ever I've met you.
Really?
Because actually, you represent the less openly flawed from us. You know, you seem always to be busy with very positive, very interesting intellectual stuff. You like to cultivate on animals, on beautiful things. You like to travel. You like to take advantage of your youth. And on top of that, you're socially just very capable of structuring this and keeping this up without being rude or without being disrespectful. I think, I mean, if you were to sort of like oppose yourself to someone with a more sort of like scarred or damaged story, I don't know you well. I'm pretty sure you have baggage too, you know. But,
oh man.
But at the same time, I do feel like you represent something positive that people like me can learn so much from. Because if you do have baggage like this, and if you are interesting and blah blah blah, people will make you feel interesting, and people have done that for years. And this also provokes a certain entitlement that I didn't know I had to still sort of deal with. It was my job to be responsible with that, and I think it took me a lot of time to find my ways with the world, because in many ways I was just super flawed and telling myself it was okay because I had so much baggage, you know. So when I see people like you making the commitments, like going to Costa Rica and actually doing stuff on all these places where you're going, I think that is incredible. I think that is a type of functionality that no one should ever put in a negative light, like they cannot reach that. No. I'm sure that type of health and that type of relationship with oneself is something I can achieve, but I can only achieve it once I fully let myself think that this actually is sometimes the opposite way, so that not everyone with baggage is one to look up to, because I guess that's what I did. I looked up to other boys with problems. Now I look up much more like people like you. And that is for real though. This is something I thought about before. Much more than I would look up to the damaged artists that I've always listened to, like Elliott Smith and Arthur Russell. I love you guys. You've meant the world to me. You saved me from the fucking death. But at the same time, I learned what I learned from them, and I will always know that. But I can learn a lot more from people that live their lives in a healthy way and maintain this I mean, from people that might have certain emotional sort of strengths just as givens. You are being creative with it, and I think you're putting your life to test in different ways, and that is just exactly why I think it's so inspiring. You find the same drive, the same need to get on and go further in you as in me, and I think that makes us. I think that is something my psychologist said as well. It's very important you view the world as just people. We're all just people. We're all
mortal beings.
Exactly, and I think that is such a nice red line. You know, it's something you sometimes lose touch out of when you overthink or put yourself in a bit of a lonelier position. And just like I was in the beginning of this conversation, how I was talking about how I feel so alone in my approach in music. Well, yeah, I think this, as much as I am making very valid points, I think this is a defect still. It's not something I think is helping me necessarily, being this way about the world around me, you know? It's like, the world around me, I'm supposed to work with it better, not sort of like distance myself from it further. But yeah, I guess this distance right now is helping me see that too. So therefore this distance is necessary. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, I don't want to stay there. I want to be there with the happy, you know, the sort of more positive drive. You know, because right now when I make music, a lot of it comes from stories like not being seen by my dad, feeling like I scared away my friends, feeling like the world is going to end, all these things. And they are very prominent themes I work with, but I'd love to see that change. And I'm sure as long as I make music as honest as possible, this will. And that's why I think it wouldn't be bad for more people to stop romanticizing lost boys and start romanticizing people that actually do positive stuff, and you're one of them. Very much.
I want to say I appreciate that, and I don't know. But for me,
I'm sure so many people that know you, if they hear this, they're gonna be like, yeah, this motherfucker from Holland is speaking the truth.
Well, for me, it's been a couple of things, and it's certainly haven't been like this all my life. I think I asked this to one of my best friends. I think last week I told him like, have you noticed that I changed a lot in like over 6 years? And he said, yeah, man, majorly. And well, I guess I can say this. I had a depression 5 years ago, of like 1 year. Maybe it started like in the beginning of my first year of uni, and then by the end of it, I didn't even recall what I did in like the last months. Yeah. And actually,
so that's like a pressure.
That's when I. Yeah. It was exactly. It was uni. It was uni.
Yeah, it was uni.
But it was also a couple of other things, but mainly was just that massive change. And bioengineering is the first year is like a filtering of like the students. So, like we're gonna give you a shitload of work. It's not even necessary per se, but just to see
who can manage to not break mentally.
Exactly. And I think I think that's
abusive.
I think what are the ones that are gonna fall off? You know, it's like climbing a mountain. Some are like, I'm out. Yeah. You know, I have seen a lot, but
in
any case, I lived through this, and this changed me a lot. And I see this in a lot of people that had depressions, that it's been kind of an awakening, a spiritual almost awakening after you had that, because you literally have to relearn almost everything.
When you hit rock bottom, you have to get up with new legs. You know?
But I think it's very good that I tell you this, because it hasn't been always like this.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting side information that I feel like you surpassed at least so well that not a lot of that is visible in who I see in front of me today. I
think it's completely gone.
Yeah, I think that is really nice. I think I congratulate you for that.
Thank you. And I still like, you were talking about going to the psy, and I did this. I restarted seeing a psychologue like from September.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to portray myself as being.
No, but there's always work to be done. There's always work to be done. Even if you're in a positive mental state, a lot of my problems were actually not when I was depressed. You see, like a lot of problems were out of controlness and that type of stuff. And sometimes you don't need to be sad to have problems with that. So I think it's very important that people understand that working on your mental health does not necessarily mean climbing out of a dark hole. It also can mean like literally taking a few steps down from the top of the mountain so you don't risk falling and breaking your neck. You know, it's and keeping on a nice level there and maintaining that. And I think it's very good that people do this. I think you know,
I'm still doing it, man.
I think
the 6 years after,
the psychological services. I mean, I think it's a very. I think it would be very good for almost any country to see a rise in the. Yeah, in sort of like that system being used, because I mean that will also improve that system, because right now you will see that a lot of healthcare, you know, mental health care systems are maybe not providing the help that some people need. And yeah, I mean, this keeps a lot of people from going, even though there is a lot to be done still. But if people start going, then people also start realizing we need more doctors. And once there's more doctors and more new studies, this will, you know, this will be a line up. Because right now, I feel like I've had so much. I've learned so much from these conversations I had with my psychologue recently, but. It's like an evaluation, and they can't take me. So,
what?
Yeah, they cannot take me. I mean, like the type of problems I have, they don't really treat that.
Oh, okay.
So I have to go somewhere else. Now I have to go into a system that I've heard so many bad things about.
Yeah, man.
But it's even when you're busy with just hopping from place to place, you'll learn something, and you know. You're on it. You're on it as much as you can, and that is already the biggest first step, I guess, into becoming better. And I think it's. I had a very interesting conversation with my agent, from all people, because we all know that agents can be, you know, peculiar energies and influences in our lives. But yeah, this is one of my newer agents, and he's an older man. He opened a very successful agency that I'm now with years ago in the 80s, you know. So he's in his own way, he's very wise. I don't know. Okay. But he told me, he was like, you know, it's very important you take care of your fucking self, because you are ladders to. You should see yourself always as a ladder to happiness for somebody else. You know, like. Okay. And I guess...
What do you mean by that?
I mean...
What does he mean by that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I found it so peculiar, because he was one of the first ones in my life that really said, do everything for everyone else. Because when you don't do it for yourself, I guess... I mean, I'm not saying it's good to do everything for everybody else. It's a symptom that can be deemed as wrong. I think in a line of bad mental health that I do deal with, doing too many things for other people is... something you want to avoid. But he made a very good point, I think, by saying you're a ladder to luck for somebody else. Is if you are doing good, and if you're functional, and if you're in good mental health and good energy, you can inspire somebody to be better that day, that year, or whatever. I mean, how many people have been ladders to luck and happiness for me? That is uncountable, you know, and in so many different ways without them having ever asked for it. Just them taking care of themselves sometimes was enough for that. Really? Sometimes a musician just making an album rather than making the best album was already enough. So you see, every little thing you do,
awesome. You can take these things and be like,
if you just realize how influential you are, you also I mean, it just places you a whole lot better all of a sudden. I mean, I felt like this had a positive influence on me, and not sort of, oh my god, I have to please everybody type of influence. No, it's nothing like that. It's like, I have to please myself so that other people can look at me and think, fuck, this is where I want to be. I need to do more this. Boom. And they, even if they don't right away find what it is that is your secret or whatever, it helps people kind of like reach for that same charisma and attitude, and I guess
that's what
as long as you don't abuse that or don't make that a facade, I think it will be a healthy influence And this is also why you don't want it to be a facade. You want it to be real. You want people to be really inspired by something that is real and not a romanticized side. And I guess we all get caught up in these gimmicks or these social status type of people and think we want to be them or prove something to them.
Very big problem.
Very big problem, you know? And I think if you are...
Do you deal with that?
Well, I'm pretty sure that everyone almost has influence like this on people without them knowing. You see, whether it be your cousin or your fucking, you know, like... or your grandparents that look up to you because you know a lot about technology, because you're... And all these type of little things, there are dynamics that we sometimes don't see ourselves. Being more aware of this, I mean, I sound like a fucking Buddhist or yogi or
I
whatever.
think about this.
But yeah, I think the more aware we are of this, the better we can be for ourselves.
Yeah.
And this is what I found so interesting. JJ, he said, "Do you have Instagram?" And I was like, "Yeah." You know what? Make that nice breakfast post, you know? But this is also the moment when I started thinking, like, you know, people like Matthias are actually amazing people, you know? They send out positive vibes almost all the time, even though it's like sometimes like about nothing. I mean, you
it's true.
In particular actually have almost always something ridiculously interesting to say, but even if you didn't, I would still be like, you know what? Fuck yeah. Matthias, your breakfast looks amazing. I'm gonna make amazing breakfast too now. No, but for real, like, why do we have something against influencing?
For sure.
I mean, I guess influencing when being abused to sell cheap clothes made by children in Bangladesh, well, yeah, then obviously fuck influencing. But influencing... What is wrong with making people happy with aesthetic pictures of food? Like, oh my god, like, they are fucking...
Get the angle,
what the hell? Like, yeah, even if it's about the angle, even if you can make some boys eat more fruit when, you know, like, when you're a hot babe and you're like, you know, like, kind of like posing sexy with a fucking pineapple or some shit... You know, it's still in positive influence, and there's nothing wrong with that. And when I started seeing it like that, I was also felt much more free to post whatever I wanted on Instagram. You know, it's like
look.
You actually make people happy sometimes, and all the people that will be annoyed, well, to be fairly honest, I think they're annoyed with themselves. Because when I think about me, when I was annoyed by people that were actually cool, but influencing and then kind of just hating on them because they were influencing, that mostly comes out of a bitter part of myself. And I think if you don't admit that, then you're just definitely not there yet, but also, like, you know, you're onto something wrong.
No. I think a lot of my friends... I actually have a lot of friends that don't have Instagram. I don't know if you know a lot of people that don't have Instagram.
I do, actually.
It's a particular type of people that don't have Instagram at our age. And I respect it totally. Like, it's fine. But they always look so down on, like, influencing and stuff. And I'm always like... It's whatever, man.
No,
like,
but
honestly,
actually, it's so wrong to look down on influencing. It's like, it's fine. It's people
but
like to be
I always
connected.
troll them by, like, showing them what I post, and I'm like, look at this, like, just trying to show them, like...
No, but really, like, friends of mine in The Hague, like, the fucking lengths they took to be less on their phone, you know? Buy a fucking new flip phone to be less on their phone, and, like, have all these clocks, and I'm just like, man... If you just let yourself enjoy whatever your phone can have, then I think you won't...
have to find a balance, because I think it can be too much as well.
Obviously, the efficiency, if you start using your phone for everything, then I think you're shooting yourself definitely in the foot.
Yeah.
But
I think I'm getting lost as well sometimes, you know, in that. I think maybe you have less of that. I think you have less of that, I think.
No, I mean...
that's what I presume, but sometimes I lose myself in, like...
me too. I mean,
mindlessly scrolling, and I'm like, what the fuck
Me too, but I
doing?
think that is just also a bit of management and ADHD. You know, it's fine. We are distracted, but we should not be with something that makes us feel like our back hurts, you know, or our neck hurts after scrolling for half an hour. Yeah. It's just, if you start really sort of like noticing what this does to your body, then I think you will be a lot less on your phone already. And once you start using night shift mode a lot more, like I do now, you will also be a lot less on your phone. It made my screen time go down by 3 hours a day.
Really?
Just having my thing on.
Because you don't like?
No, but on the little moon.
I know, but because you don't like the colors or something? Why does it make you not look at your phone? Like?
Oh, no, the moon. I mean, when I put it on moon, I just don't get notifications.
Oh, like that. It's kind of a do not disturb.
Yeah, kind of like that. I mean, you have to have time for it.
For me, it only it only makes it more yellow.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No, for me, it's just like I put that on and then, nobody bothers me. But then obviously you have to not forget to put it off when you are waiting for work.
Yeah, that's
but,
yeah.
But I mean, obviously, it's when you are choosing to engage with an instrument like an iPhone that has so many options and is so efficient, then you're already kind of like shaking hands with the devil, and you should definitely be careful with that. But if you replace all these little things with real things, like, I mean, for me, I have now the iPhone that you cannot plug your normal aux headphones in.
Okay,
so I just stopped listening to music.
I have Bluetooth, man.
No, but I just stopped listening to music whenever I need to use my phone. If I want to listen to music on my phone, I listen through the phone speakers.
Was that a problem with you, that you listen too much to music?
Yeah, definitely.
Because I have this problem.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Especially if you make music and you're busy with music, if you're also going to the tram and listening to music on your way to the tram, putting it even louder in the tram, you know, like, no. You have never a break. The same with your phone. If you're gonna go for a run and you're gonna take your phone to count your fucking steps, well, fuck you. Then you're not running for the right reasons, first of all. Second of all, I mean, as much as you can influence and inspire and blah blah, and however whatever I'm saying now contradicts that, you know, happily and freely influencing, I still think you're going running. You don't want that weight of your phone in your pocket. You leave your phone at home. You leave your cigarettes at home. You don't smoke after you run. Otherwise, your run has been pointless. No, but you see, it's like once you kind of like clear out all the bullshit from all the things you do, not just your phone becomes more efficient, because now I do use my phone for my planning, but for the first time it's efficient. Because I'm not trying to use and do and combine and do everything at the same time. No, you're just taking, you're finally agreeing to the fact that if I want to use this efficient phone, I will have to hand in this for it. Or if I do not want to become a zombie, I will have to hand in Spotify, on which artists don't make any money anyway. You know, fuck Spotify. Okay, lose Spotify. Boom, no more music. I don't have headphones anyway. No music on the train. You listen to the street.
Yeah.
Well, if you record stuff, this becomes actually nice. You just hear what the fuck is around, and you're like, oh, catch.
That's very interesting you say that, because I'm so undisciplined with this. I listen to music constantly.
Oh, I have many of the same things. I mean, I'm really bad still with a lot of things.
But for me, it's really just like...
but it's just figuring this out and taking an effort to figure it out does do well. I feel like it can actually make a difference instead of watching a documentary about it on your phone. You know, you might as well just start trying to see what... is this efficiency for? You know, why do I have this on my phone? It's for this. And when you just start using it for that, you will not use it for anything else. Or like, you will not overuse it in between, because you're already using it to do this. Actually, it's supposed to be efficient to make your real life better. You see? That is, once you put it in that perspective, then you're like, okay, you know, and then it falls so much more in the background as well. You know? Like,
looking at his notifications.
I literally got a text an hour ago.
Okay, so we were talking about like phones, and then we got distracted by notifications. We just took a quick break. But
to honestly, be on the phone.
Honestly, I really enjoyed this talk, and I think we can break it up. Yeah. Like I think we can go on for like many.
No, exactly. If we go on for too long, we don't know what to cut anymore. You know?
But so. Awesome talking to you, man. Like, very good.
Same, Matthias. I didn't expect anything else from this talk. But,
really?
But
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. And for those who listen, thank you very much as well. Thank you.
It was nice, you know.
Thank you. Bye.
Peace.
Cheers. Good.
Dat was heel ziek.